Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special Reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I bring on a guest I had on in the past. I couldn't get enough of them on the first episode, so I had to bring them on back. So today's guest is Jeff Colvin, and he's the founder and principal over at D3Strategy. Jeff, welcome back to the show.
Adam, pleasure to be here, and thanks again. I'm glad there's enough interest for the reunion, so thanks.
Fantastic. So first off, podcast has grown quite a bit since our last interview, so I don't want to assume that our new listeners caught that one. So let's just start off with you talking a little bit more about what you're up to over at D3Strategy.
Excellent. D3Strategy is actually somewhat of an acronym for Design, Develop, and Deliver. And it's strategy not just for the organization, but maybe, and more importantly, strategy for yourself and your team, which ultimately will serve the organization. And so I've been working with a number of different clients, both in training and in consulting mode, trying to assure just that they're successful at the individual level, and that ultimately serves the organization.
That's awesome. And so what kind of clients do you typically like to work with, just so that people that are listening, if they'll know if they're the right type of fit to follow up?
Well, I'm here located in Silicon Valley and have been for my entire life, although I travel the world for clients. I'd say primarily the high-tech world, which grows so quickly. Very talented, very intelligent young people who, frankly, don't necessarily have the core skills of leading and managing others. They may be technically astute, but, boy, it's really different when you're trying to get work done with other people. So that's really my focus, is serving the individual more from a non-technical standpoint, but from getting the strategy done all the way down to each piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, that's exciting. I want to switch it up a bit. I mean, you have some big news here. You just started, well, first, congratulations. You just started a new course. Tell us a little bit more about that. It's big news.
Well, I'm pleased. In fact, I was a little overwhelmed. This was just a couple days ago that I kicked off my course called Building Effective Teams at Stanford University for their continuing studies program. And I had a overwhelming amount of 38 people trying to cram into the classroom. And
wow.
And frankly, they're coming back next week. So it runs about a 6-week period, and it's the third time I'm delivering that for Stanford. Just one other quick note, I'm also scheduled to deliver my other course for the Stanford Continuing Studies folks called the Leadership for Collaborative Success, and that'll be starting in April. If you're around and you're interested, check it out. Maybe you'll join me in that time frame as well.
Man, that's exciting. So let's start with the course that you're working on at Stanford. What kind of things will you be teaching in that one? Well,
the fundamental point, as I was just mentioning, is that even though there are really talented people in the Valley and elsewhere around the world, they don't necessarily have the skill or even the training and background in getting work done with others. So to summarize very briefly, Adam, the key is first understanding the strategy. And typically most of my audience is mid-management, so we have to appreciate there is a strategy that exists already, but the key is translating that strategy to the appropriate project work. And, of course, the project work has to translate to the team, and the team work has to translate to the individual. So whether you're the formal leader of a team or just a member of that team, the key is coming up with how to translate that project work to daily, weekly, monthly deliverables. That's what the team's all about, and that's where we focus, everything from the kickoff to ground rules and operating principles to dealing with conflict. And frankly, these are core issues that everyone needs to use, and most don't have that background. So far it's been very well received.
So I know this is going to obviously vary from team to team and organization to organization, and obviously size of company, a lot of variables. So I don't want to oversimplify it, but I do know you've been working in this space for a long time, so you see some themes and patterns arise. What are the some of the common breakdowns, if you will, in this translation into becoming effective and working with teams that you've noticed through the years?
Yeah, great question. I think what happens is most team leaders often get promoted based on their technical competence. They're very good at what they've been doing, but now they have to not only do the technical side, but they have to do the people side as well. And having traveled to many different types of industries and companies and countries around the world, the question that is answered typically is that 80% of the challenges they face as leaders are more people-oriented than they are technical. And so when we come down to more specifics, we're talking about clear roles and responsibilities, how to actually establish commitments that people will meet and hold them accountable when they don't, without punishing, but assuring that they see themselves as a key team player. That's the subtle piece, and that's the challenge.
Man, that's exciting. So let's just say, and this you'll know more so than myself, and I'm just curious. So let's just say, obviously, these large organizations, there's different levels of teamwork and delegation, and there's, from the executive team down. Does the executive team and the middle management, and let's just say some of the rank and file teams, if you will, do they kind of have some of the same issues in this translation process, or would you say that like the C-suite's going to have completely different problems than, let's just say, than the middle team and so on? I'm just curious on how ranking in the organization plays out over time.
I think it's the same and different. And let me be clear here. It's the same in terms of trying to assure that the commitments that are made in terms of daily work and driving strategic success are actually met. Now, it might be a much more critical type commitment when you're signing a contract with a key vendor, or you're dealing with a regulatory agency, maybe from a senior management perspective. But those still have breakdowns. We still have challenges with people actually doing what they say they're going to do. And so I think that is still a fundamental. The different side is that senior managers are dealing more, if you will, with a higher strategic level of challenge. So they may not see these breakdowns as frequently as middle managers or even newly hired supervisors on a daily basis. But when they do see them, they're much more critical. So I think at the core, the same issues around assuring that the plans are translated and actually achieved, but more importantly, aligning all players up and down the organization.
Man, that's exciting, Jeff. And I love your take on that. And as you say it, I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, it makes total sense. And I could talk to you about this all day long, Jeff. I'm like, okay, I have 30 more questions.
For everyone, that's the point. There's nothing
so
you
good.
can from, unfortunately, yeah.
So, Jeff, if somebody is listening to this right now and they want more information on D3Strategy or to keep up with you in the courses that you're teaching in different areas, what's the best route for them to connect?
Well, again, I really encourage anyone just to learn more, because that's where you start the improvement. I would start with my LinkedIn site. And so just looking up Jeff Colvin, LinkedIn, and sometimes you have to add the word Stanford, Jeff Colvin, LinkedIn, Stanford. You'll find my LinkedIn site. And there are actually 7 articles I just posted a few days ago called Manage Your Boss, ... And there's 7 different approaches. So I think right away that's a value, LinkedIn for Jeff Colvin. I actually have a couple of courses on Udemy, udemy.com. You might want to check that out. Again, just Udemy with Jeff Colvin. And, of course, don't hesitate to go directly to me. This is my favorite line, always willing to explore. And so my email, linkjc@aol.com, always has been. linkjc@aol.com. And then my phone, simply 408-353-2805. Glad to get back to you, or at least explore the challenges. So, Adam, I thank you again, and I do hope this has helped at least one person, if not many.
Awesome, Jeff. Well, hey, really appreciate you coming back on the show. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, but also leave us some comments on this video. Love to hear your thought process and what's going on in team and teamwork within your organization, and love to engage in a dialogue with you there. And, Jeff, thanks again for coming on the show.
And best luck to you, Adam. For the new year, we're already into February coming, so keep it going. Thanks.